First at 6, collect your water now. Manchester town officials say water main repairs will leave some residents without water for several hours.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. Thanks so much for starting yours off with us here at Fox 61 and streaming on Fox 61 Plus. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Bridget Buerla. I hope your Thursday's off to a great start. It's another chilly one out there, but the good news is the sun's going to come out soon. It's going to warm up at least a little bit, right, Rachel?
Yeah, we'll get up into the mid-50s this afternoon. It's going to be a really nice day overall. Mostly sunny skies expected. Taking a live look outside over in Hartford, it is nice and clear this morning, but it is also nice and cold. 29 degrees this morning in Hartford with the wind that is calm. Temperature-wise, 25 in Goshen, 29 in Cheshire, as well as in Middletown, 28 in Brantford, and 26 in Willimantic. Now, we don't have a lot of wind to speak of this morning, so it is a more comfortable start to our morning, despite the numbers being in the upper 20s to near 30. Sunny skies continue through the afternoon. Temperatures will get up close to average in the mid to upper 50s. Recess likely outside. But with the dry conditions also comes an elevated brush fire risk for today and really for the next couple of days, as we have that dead brush that's out there. And so it really can spark some issues if you do have outdoor fires. They can tend to spread a little bit quickly, especially as the winds kick back up. So properly dispose of those smoking materials and follow the directions by your local officials. Temperature-wise, will be in the mid to upper 50s, but with the wind in the afternoon, slightly colder at times with gust potential closer to 10 to 20. So town by town, around 50 to about 57 degrees seems to be the temperature spread. Hartford around 54 degrees, 53 in Wallingford. A little bit cooler in southeastern Connecticut with a strong southerly wind starting to kick back in. Really nice conditions expected over our Friday. Over the weekend too, while it's not as warm as Friday, still a very comfortable weekend ahead. We'll have more details on that coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:02, we do have some road work that is wrapping up this morning in the Hartford area. So out by exits about 84 east between exits 51 and 52. Now those on ramps, those are going to be to 91 both north and south. Those have been closed for a little bit of time, and so as they wrap up, we are starting to see those delays starting to build. Let's check back in where it does look like that is easing up this morning. It was much heavier just around 2 minutes ago. So if you have delayed your travels, that's consider yourself lucky. Things are running better on the roadways there. Cromwell 91, both directions look okay, as well as New London and New Haven. Erica.
6:02, Rach, thanks so much. This morning, repair work is expected to begin on a Manchester water main. It's expected to leave a lot of people without running water for the majority of the day. Work is slated to start in a couple hours, so heads up, you need to prepare. Fox 61's Erin Coogan is live in Manchester. She's breaking down what areas are going to be affected by this and what you need to do now while you still have that running water. Erin.
Yeah, well, guys, taking it to social media less than 24 hours ago, local leaders warned neighbors and local businesses in the area of Route 44 and Arnott Road to collect their day's worth of water before heading to work. It's because crews will be turning off the water main at 8:30 this morning to approximately 4:30 this afternoon. Take a look. This map provided by the town identifies the impacted area as the middle turnpike from Arnott Road to Garth Road and including Stephanie's Way. Important to note, this was the same residential area that saw several water main breaks back in February require emergency work and subsequent water shutoffs. Today again, officials are advising folks in the work zone to collect water for drinking, cooking, and clean containers ahead of that 8:30 start time. They also recommend filling the bathtub to have reserves for flushing the toilet. But if for whatever reason a family finds themselves without those reserves, water is available at the town boiling station at 125 Spring Street. Facilities will be open for the length of the repair work, but the town does warn you need to bring your own containers to fill up. Now, primarily a residential area, we're going to be checking in with folks in that impact area to see what they're doing to prepare. And of course, we're going to have it on air and online at fox61.com. Guys.
All right, Erin, good to hear that those repairs are finally being made. A lot of homeowners have been calling for it for some time. Thank you. 6:04. We have developing news out of the Middle East this morning. Iran state media says its military has blocked the Strait of Hormuz again. It's in a response to Israeli strikes on Hezbollah in Lebanon. Dozens of people were killed in those strikes. Israel says the ceasefire agreement does not extend to its war in Lebanon. Meantime, Iran backs Hezbollah and says it will block the Strait of Hormuz until Israel's attacks stop. But the White House says President Trump was told privately the strait remains open. Iran state media is reporting the country is calling for a toll for ships passing through the strait $1 per barrel. A typical oil tanker carries 2 million barrels apiece.
6:05 now, and the average price for a gallon of regular gas here in Connecticut jumped by a penny overnight. Now, AAA says it stands at $4.11. A week ago, it was $4.02, and 1 month ago, it was $3.36. If you want to compare the prices from a year ago, it's $1 more a gallon.
6:05, the Hartford Police Union is battling it out with the mayor after they say he did not follow procedure when he fired the officer who shot and killed a Hartford man during a mental health crisis in February. Fox 61's Joe Monte joins us live from Hartford this morning. He is hearing from both sides, and both of those sides, Joe, not backing down on this.
No, that's right. Good morning. They're both holding strong. The mayor says that as the supervisor of all city employees, he had the right to fire Officer Joseph Magnano after fatally shooting Stephen Jones. But the leader of the police union in Hartford says that the mayor is totally overstepping his authority. Take a listen.
The decision was made based on the performance of that officer. As I said, I thought in that video we saw 3 officers who did a really good job, and I felt like the actions of Officer Magnano didn't rise to that standard.
Mayor Aralumpalum says that Officer Magnano was still in his probationary period. He says based on the video from the scene, he wasn't happy with the officer's performance. Mayor Aralumpalum says it was his call to fire Magnano. Hartford Police Union President James Rutkowski not only takes issue with the mayor's decision, but how it was carried out.
We found ourselves in this position because the due process wasn't applied, and those grievances are part of that. Our argument that our contract and what we've agreed to was trampled on by the mayor.
Now, the union filed a grievance and says the next step is to go to the city's HR department, and after that, the State Board of Mediation. Now, the police union president says that he isn't backing down, and the mayor says the same thing. He's not backing down either, so we'll have to see what plays out with this situation. But for now in Hartford, Joe Monte, Fox 61.
And of course, that decision, Joe, to fire that officer came after weeks of pressure from the family of that man and supporters and activists. So we will be watching it. Thank you. 6:07 now. 13 people were injured in an explosion at a manufacturing plant in East Providence, Rhode Island. The incident happened at the Aspen facility just after 8 last night. First responders say none of the injuries appear to be serious. Most are related to respiratory issues. The state fire marshal is leading the investigation into the cause of the explosion, which remains unknown at this hour.
Crews battled a fire in a parking lot of the Bradley Inn in Windsor Locks last night. This is some viewer photos that we have here. This is of the scene at the Bradley Inn. They were taken around 8 p.m. from the DoubleTree. That's right across the street from the Bradley Inn. Now, you may remember that the Bradley Inn property was condemned back in February. We sent a crew out to the scene. We found the area clear, but we are working right now to learn more about what happened there.
6:08 is your time. A lawsuit has been filed against an Avon daycare after a staff member was accused of inappropriate contact with a child. The daycare, Bright Path, says it has not yet been formally served with a complaint. The lawsuit filed by attorney Tim O'Keefe claims the center failed to properly supervise and protect children in its care. Avon police confirmed they arrested staff member Juan Carlos Barrios Otero on charges of sexual assault and risk of injury to a minor. The company says once it receives the complaint, it will follow the legal process. The suit seeks $15,000 in damages. Police say an unloaded firearm was found inside a Middletown high schooler's backpack. This happened yesterday morning when the school went into a brief shelter-in-place lockdown for that investigation. Authorities say no one was hurt or threatened. Once officials took the firearm, the shelter-in-place was lifted. Everyone went back to class. We're also learning officers stayed on campus throughout the day just to be safe and to make everyone feel safe. There has been no word at this time if the student carrying the weapon has been charged.
New Haven police say after several months of investigating, they've made an arrest in a murder from back in August. The victim, Dennis Atkinson, was found shot several times on a sidewalk. Fox 61's Tim Lateau has more on what investigators say led up to the shooting.
These new details come after a 7-month-long investigation. Police say this murder of a father of 3 all stemmed from a dispute over money. The shooting took place in the early hours of August 18th. Police were notified of the shooting from a shot spotter alert. They found 40-year-old Dennis Atkinson on the sidewalk with multiple gunshot wounds. He later died at the hospital. Atkinson had 3 sons and a large, close-knit extended family who lovingly called him Man. He also worked as a downtown ambassador for New Haven's Town Green District to help keep the downtown area safe and clean. Police say they had to conduct dozens of interviews with members of the community to find the suspect. Recently, detectives established probable cause to arrest 26-year-old Vincent Watts. He was arrested Saturday and is being held on a $2.5 million bond for murder and gun charges. Family members say they knew Watts, and police say the motive for the shooting was a dispute over money. Family members say Atkinson's life was not worth the money being fought over. Police didn't share how much money was involved or how the dispute started. This is how family members say they'll remember Atkinson.
Man was the type of live in our family. He kept everybody laughing. He had a great sense of humor, a great personality. He was talented. He was a great father, son, brother, cousin.
The Atkinson family says they'll finally reach closure once justice has been reached in court. But they're saddened that another family may be separated from their loved one if Watts is found guilty. In New Haven, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.
Tim, thank you. Well, the family of a woman who died in Hartford police custody says her death was preventable. A wrongful death lawsuit has now been filed. Linda Praler was arrested about 2 years ago on theft and probation violation charges. An Inspector General report says that she told officers she had recently used fentanyl and was experiencing withdrawal symptoms. She was later found unresponsive and pronounced dead at a hospital. The lawsuit claims that officers ignored warning signs and failed to provide proper medical care or monitor her condition. Her family says negligence and reckless actions violated her rights and led to her death. Coming up, the tax deadline, it's a few days away. We're going to have more on the key date to keep in mind and one simple tip to avoid before you file. It'll save yourself a lot of headache and possibly money.
And also this morning, state leaders are raising concerns about a major water company's sale in Connecticut, the alleged financial mistake that could impact your rates and why officials want the deal reconsidered altogether.
Plus, a new plan is moving forward for a possible expansion at Tweed New Haven Airport. We'll tell you what it could mean for traffic, the community, and the approval it still needs before anything can be built. We'll be right back. Stay with us.